Triathlon is one of the fastest growing sports in the world. Despite not hosting its first event until 1974, it has progressed rapidly on a global stage and has already been welcomed by the Olympic movement. The sport didn't arrive in Britain until 1983, but the popularity has been buoyed recently by the successes of reigning world champion Non Stamford and the Brownlee brothers. In May, I spent a week with Swindon Triathlon Club and completed the Royal Wootton Bassett Sprint Triathlon to find out why the popularity of triathlon continues to grow. I started by speaking with Chris Fox, Swindon Triathlon Club's chair, to find out the basics.
Triathlon is essentially, the tri is for three, and it's three sports here all in one go. So it's a swim first, it's a bike second, and then a run after that. All are varying distances according to the type of race that you're doing. So a sprint distance typically would be a shorter race, all the way through to an Ironman, which is a much longer sort of ultra distance kind of race. Effectively, the club run a series of sessions each week. So there's 3 swim sessions. There's a run session at the moment as well, and then during the sort of winter-spring period we do a spin class once a week at the same time. So we've got sessions that members can come along and do. It's, if you're that intrigued, just go and find out, get in the pool, do some swimming, do some biking, do some running, do a little race and see how you feel afterwards.
I took Chris's advice and joined the club's Monday swim session at the Link Centre. As my swimming is weak, I started by feeling slightly overwhelmed. It all looked a bit serious and I was nervous, so I watched for a while. But eventually, I just had to jump in. Coaches Justin and Phil explained the main session for me and the chaps in the slowest lane. We were to swim a 1,000 metre effort, noting our 100 metre pace. Then we would swim 300 metres, 250, 200, 150 and 100 with 15 seconds rest between. We had to keep the same pace per 100 metres as our kilometre. It's undoubtedly the hardest session and longest session I've ever done. Afterwards, and with aching arms, I spoke to Holly Gamble about why she likes the session.
I love the swim sessions because I would never push myself that hard on my own. I have done a bit of swimming in the past, but it would be more like plodding up and down the lanes, the same speed. I wasn't really getting any better. But as soon as I came here and Phil starts shouting at you and pushing you that bit harder, every week you see yourself making small gains, but eventually they add up, and sometimes I shock myself when I can swim so much faster than I could this time 3 or 4 months ago. Phil's got so many years of experience as a swimming coach. He's been coaching swimming since before I was born, so I trust everything he says. Same with Justin when he does the run sessions. He's obviously like a top class athlete, so he breaks down the different phases of the run. So he makes it more like a skill than just a fitness thing, and I never realised that changing the style of your running could make you so much faster.
I was pleased Holly had mentioned the running sessions, because that was next on my agenda. I felt a little more comfortable as Justin explained Wednesday's session, because I came from a running background.
I moved to Swindon just over 12 years ago, and I think the first thing I did was find somewhere to live. The second thing I did was find a tri club, so yeah, that's how I came here. I've been involved in coaching for about the last sort of 4 years or so. It was something that I just wanted to get involved a little bit more with the club and help out, and there was a gap really. We didn't have that, and it was something that I had an interest to do outside of the club itself. So that was why I kind of got into it really. And
in the shadow of the county ground, our session focused on pace. We completed 6 laps of a half-mile path, aiming to get 3 or 4 seconds quicker with each circuit. I set off far too fast and was paying for it by the time I'd completed. After we cooled down, Justin took us through our splits and gave us some practical advice, which coming from an international experienced athlete is invaluable.
I love coaching. I love sort of sharing my knowledge and experience with people. I love when people kind of they get why we're doing certain things in a session, especially when it's something new that they haven't done before. And I think I just love to see the sort of improvement as well. Some of the people that have been coming along regularly recently have really improved some of the times they've been doing in the pool, and also also on the running and 5k in the park run. So it's really good. We tend to look a bit at technique every week. We do some drills, all of that. So if I can help somebody with their running technique, then and make them more efficient, then that's what we look to do as well.
The club put me in contact with their member Ciaran Alstowe, who was organising the triathlon that weekend. He took me out on the bike course.
The last time the triathlon was here, the school didn't even exist. The run course would be on the finish area and stuff. So it's completely new and it's completely fresh. So I think hopefully people will be quite surprised by some of the challenges, but it should be a really, really nice course.
The route took us out of Bassett, towards Brinkworth where we turned left, crossed the M4 at Dauncey and back into Bassett through Grittenham. When we returned, Ciaran told me about the tragedy that had inspired this event.
On August 25th last year, I was out racing and I had a phone call to sort of say that I need to get home, and unfortunately my mum passed away of a heart attack. She was very, very big within the community, and it was kind of an idea of me giving myself a focus, but also trying to give something back, trying to bring people together, which is what she was kind of all about. So it's just kind of in her memory, I think. So it kind of come about by just sort of sitting down and thinking, you know what, I can do this, and I can do something to kind of remember her, really. So stress levels started to build towards the day. I was going to say it's one of those ones where it's remembering all of the small things and making sure that everything's in place. And I was going to say you don't want to forget one thing at all. So it's just all of the little things and making sure it's right for every single athlete. I was going to say.
That evening, I went back to the Link Centre. I wanted to complete another session before getting into the pool on race day, and I wanted to use the pool of experience to get some advice. So I spoke to Alex, who, like Holly, is training for Ironman Tenby.
So my advice is just be to focus on the one you're doing. When you're out on the bike, don't worry about the fact you've got to run next. Just pace yourself, eat, drink, whatever you'd normally go through your normal routine. Try and relax, enjoy it. And when the run comes, the run will come. And you'll probably do just fine at it, because it's just like every other run. Try and forget the stages before and after.
Then, like that, it was race day. After collecting my number and getting acquainted with transition, it was time to be briefed on poolside as my start time swiftly approached. Here I am in the red hat in lane 1 on the far side. I'm going on the second whistle. I had covered the 400 metres, 16 lengths, in 7 minutes and 56 seconds, which was quicker than I had expected. Next, it was time for the bike leg. Just over 40 minutes later, I was back and I was ready to run.
Go on, Chris! Well done! Go on, Chris, keep going. First one a minute.
Halfway around the run course, I hit the hour mark
Give us a smile.
and what felt like a brick wall. A short, steep,
going, Chris,
unexpected
well
hill had taken the little that remained in my leg. Somehow, though, I beat my camera to the finish line and crossed in 1 hour 10 and 15 seconds. Was 30th man and 32nd overall. One of the females ahead of me was Holly Gamble, who won the women's race.